Hi guys, Bruce here. Well, today we got a 12.5 horsepower, what I call bush hog, and it backfires in parts. I guess it's not quite running right, so we'll get into it. This man pulls it with his quad to cut his farm driveways and stuff. Dave, this is what you need. So the first thing we're going to do is the basics. We'll check the fuel. We'll check and see how good the spark is. It should have spark, I guess, because if it's backfiring. Even if it has a low oil shutoff, if it's got low oil and all of that stuff. So we'll just get organized and we'll come back. I'll try not to show off my rear end here. Not much gas in it. That's good. It'd be sad if it was just out of gas, eh?
I had probably checked that, but no,
I did see a little bit in the bottom. I'm just going to drain it through the bottom of the tank and we'll go from there.
It sat there and run. You got to take the tank off anyway. It's the easiest. Well, I did anyhow.
Right.
Get the carb off.
Right. I see. Well, that's anyway. That was just a chuckle because I couldn't reach it with my turkey baster. Okay, let's drain the fuel. Putting my back towards the camera and I got lots of people bitching about it, and here I am putting my back towards the camera. Some of it. So I'm just draining the gas. So this looks like last year's gas. We're just going to put it in the bad gas container. Like I said last video, I've got bad gas. Hello everybody, this is Eric. He's the owner of this bush hog, which is what I call it. And we're just going to check for spark right now. Go ahead. Ooh, wait. Oh yeah, there's a spark. Yep, perfect. Now, all right guys, as usual, there's noise in the background. I live in the city and there's a mower going somewhere every day, all day, 7 days a week. So I'm just taking the gas tank off, 2 9/16 volts, and it might have another one in the, oh there it is. There we go. So now that gives us a chance to clean that. You're laughing, right? So now I'm just going to take I don't know if I'm going to take the bowl off the carburetor yet, or if we're just going to disconnect. If we're going to disconnect the fuel pump and just put a funnel and make sure the bowl of the carburetor is full, and we'll try and start it and see how it behaves. Be right back. Keep talking, it makes it interesting.
I'm a musician as well.
That's right.
Guitars and stuff.
I knew that.
Very,
Oh, it's filling.
seen all that stuff.
I've seen into your shop.
Have you been in my shop?
Yeah.
Oh,
I was over with Larry one day,
yeah,
picking up that old MTV mower, which I got running, and then the transmission went out.
Larry was saying that.
And that's just, could you get me any one of those, that cool whip container with a funnel in it? We'll just dump the excess fuel into there.
Just the
black funnel's in it. I think if you look to your right. No, on the bench.
What?
Go to the right, go to the right, go to the right.
Oh, this is cool.
There we go.
This is cool.
I know. Perfect. Okay. Now we're going to try and start it and see what it does. Because the bowl in the carburetor is full, so it should even run for 40 seconds. If the gods are with us. Okay, spark plugs in. You do what you do to start it.
Choke it?
Yep. I just want to hear it.
wide open.
Right, now that might have used up the carb, the gas in the car, in the bowl. I don't know how much fuel this thing uses.
It
Probably uses
It
a
goes
bit.
through the-
Let's try it again and I'll make sure that there's gas in that.
And you could hear it.
Yeah,
at
it's
the
not
end.
happy, eh?
You could hear it at the end when it ran out of gas.
Mhm.
It picked up. So
That's right, yeah,
it sounds like
it's running rich.
flooding itself.
Yep.
Yeah.
It used a bit. We might as well. Okay, let's let her go. Let's give her a go. Yeah, it's drinking it. So it only has the right mixture just when it's running out. You with me?
Yeah.
You knew that.
I knew that. Yeah.
I had to see it, right?
Yeah. No.
So I think what's happening is the level in the carburetor is way too high, and really that float just acts exactly like the float in your toilet, right? And right now the level is running over the top of the toilet,
Yeah.
and we want it to drop down. So we'll take the carburetor off.
And I think.
That's why I heated up my mixer up there.
I do
Ultrasound
suspect a little bit that it might be something I did.
Oh, that's very possible.
Cleaned it.
So anyway, folks,
Before I cleaned it, I couldn't even get it to a start.
so I'm just going to take the carburetor off with these two 7/16 bolts or whatever they are. It's a Briggs & Stratton, so I'm thinking everything is SAE. Okay, so we've got the carburetor taken off two different spots, but we still have the throttle arm in the way, which is probably on a Z-bend or a hook or something. It's on a hook. There's the choke, which is off. And then there's the throttle arm, and then the spring. Of course, I didn't bring needle nose with me. Here we go. We are free! Now this is where the fun begins. Alright guys, 12 horse carburetor. We're going to just take the bottom off and have a look at the float. Maybe. There, that one came. Ooh, well we have a cheat built right in for that. Make sure it's going in the right direction. So I'm using my wonderful gift, the Impact. There we go. Then I just use this for my carburetor parts out of the doctor kit. So, you know, I'm really happy. Oh, we should be quiet for a minute here. When I'm making a video, I usually edit about 40 or 50% out. See, I don't see them this big that often, eh? Oh, something's in my hand. Is that the little dew hummer right there?
That could be the little dew hummer right there. I wasn't sure,
If it sat in there.
and I'm not sure that. Oh, yeah.
I might screw out.
I think that's the little.
Got to be careful with with the gaskets, because they're the, you know, the one thing that can stop me cold for a week is a bad broken thingy.
Gasket,
Yeah, anything like that. But you're getting too much fuel and not enough air. So that tells you that the float is, well, it should be.
And that little gimjicky, I wasn't sure where that went.
This?
No, the little one, the little
Yeah.
piece that you took out. Found that in afterwards,
Does it screw in or does it press in?
and that's
No, that's
doesn't
probably
even
not.
press in. It just
No,
sort
it
of
just sits
sits.
there. Yeah. I think you got it right. Nice to have everything on the wall, eh? Okay, you guys. 12 horsepower gurus. Sean, Dave. Don't know where that jet goes. Hello, Bruce back. Well, I think we found our problem. I took apart this carburetor. And you might, I don't know how far we got because I was talking to Eric, but this screw, or this spring, sorry, was not in this older carburetor that was on the bush hog. But it came out of this one, which came out of the Horde. So you gotta have a Horde, eh? So now we're gonna just, I'm gonna do a little spraying and squirting orifices in the emulsion tube and the bowl, although the bowl is very clean, so he's very diligent on his gas. He uses premium fuel with stabilizer. Nag, 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 nag. All right, you guys with me? Did you hear me? Premium fuel with stabilizer. So I'm just going to pop this carburetor back together. I think you saw me take it apart, so it shouldn't be the end of the world, and we will move on. Because I do, you guys have seen me clean, what, 5 carburetors a week? So talk to you later. Okay, my friends, we're going to have a look at the intake on this carburetor, which is going to look just like this one. I guess I don't even have to take that apart if I'm going to look into here, eh? Yes. Eric, if you look right into there, you see there's a slot on the right side. Well, that's part of the idle and run, low speed, low RPM idle and run. When you close the jet, you see that there's still 2 little holes right there.
Yep.
And if those aren't clean, you might as well start all over again. So I'm going to just do that to this one. Yeah, same thing. I'm glad I had that carburetor. So right in here, on the edge there, you'll see there's a tiny, 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 tiny hole. I'll just put the screwdriver on. Right on the edge of the butterfly, do you see that? And we just have to make sure that that is clean. And of course, I wasn't paying attention to see if this was going this way or this way. But that's all right. We have the technology to fix that. So I'm just going to do a little I'm going to use my little sideways squirter. You guys have seen that. We're going to go sideways into that hole. But first, we're going to use the idea that I stole from Donny Boy 73. Yours is a little bigger hole, eh? But it just gets in there with it. And that wire came off the wire brush grinder, and then I just stuck it in the end of a match.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty big hole, but on a chainsaw, that is cool.
Let's do it exactly right.
I'll give you $1,000 to pick that. Those are Bruce bucks, eh? They're not a not a normal dollar. Thank you. I've got 2 of these. I think I got the wrong one in here. I think it's coming through somewhere. That's all I wanted to do. Just make sure there's nothing on the other side. I think we're good. So we're going to reassemble now. I'll be back in a bit. It was seal up, right? Oh, one other thing I'm going to do. It's been running good, right? Until it.
Yeah.
And what caused it to stop?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I assumed dirt in the carb.
I don't think it has to be in there hard. You know, it's just a thing, right?
Well, once it's
There, I think it's in now.
once it sits on the carburetor, it
Well,
can't,
yeah, once it sits on top of that.
it can't come out anyway.
Okay. Okay, now this is the, you gotta make sure about this gasket. It's actually, okay, we're gonna go the other way. But I'm just a little jittery on this gasket, as you would understand.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the hole for the, I think it's probably there, right? No. Where do you think the hole would be?
I think that one would probably drop into this one. It's got the right off. It's the only one with the same offset from the center.
Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's actually the bowl, and it seconds as the bowl seal too, eh? Just a minute. Let's get rid of this. It might not seal until the bowl is on, because it might even have that, it might even be a micro seal all the way around, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Just looks a little unsealed right there, doesn't it? Like right there.
There's an actual slot
Mm-hmm.
in gap
In the whole, the whole thing, eh?
in this bowl. There's a
I think it will seal. Just wiggle it in good. Are we still on? Yep. Now, the Holy Grail. I think that's her, baby. Oh, could you just hold that whole thing right there? I'm going to wash this out. So I tried different carb cleaner. And, boy, there's a reason why I buy that. I didn't know there was a reason why I buy that until I used some cheap stuff from Walmart. And
I like this stuff too.
yeah, purchase auto. I buy the, when it's on sale, I buy 6 or 7 cans at a time. No, this is no longer clean gas. But I'm going to shoot a little bit of clean gas on there because it's going to touch that. It's going to touch that gasket, eh? I always say to my subscribers, cleanliness is the most important thing. The first thing you got to do is get your hands dirty.
Yeah, well, I'm no stranger.
Do you think we're there?
Hands.
I do.
I think you are.
That didn't feel right. I guess so. So we're reassembled. I hope you guys heard some of that. I'm going to have to omit the cussing. I don't cuss. I don't talk religion. I don't talk politics. And I don't talk money online. And there is actually something to talk about after that. Okay, this is going back on just like it came off. Okay, Eric's going to start this. We have everything put back together again, put the tank on, and I primed the carburetor. We just poured 2 ounces of fuel into that bowl, and she should be ready to go.
Okay, I'm going to
Give it the choke, and yeah.
make sure the key is on. Yes, it is.
Yeah, he's a commentary. Throttle?
That was the throttle.
So it still sounds like it's running a little lean,
I
actually.
think the bowl ran out of gas.
Oh, you don't think it's pumping? You're right. You're absolutely right. Well, we got to get it to prime. So we'll do it the other way. I'll actually pour some fuel into here so we can get it wet. Okay, can I hold that while you do that? I think we're okay.
Well, I'd give her a crank or two.
Let's go. There we go. There it is. Very good.
We're going on the backside of
Yeah.
the pump.
No, that's right. That's where the gas comes from. Oh, no, it isn't. You're right. You're going in the backside. You're absolutely right. Thank you. I appreciate that. So we should be putting the gas into there. That's why I was going to originally raise it, but I bet you it got wet.
Well, it went somewhere.
It did go somewhere, yeah.
Hopefully it didn't go down into the crankcase.
All right, thanks for that. I only do about 3 or 4 of these a year. You want me to take the tank off and elevate it, or do you think we should give it a go?
We can give her
Let's
a
give
go
it a
if
go,
you like.
if you don't mind yanking.
Do we want to choke? No, I don't mind yanking.
Hi, Larry. We got it running, but it won't pump fuel. There was a missing piece in the carburetor. Oh, we're still not done. You want to just get it running again off the tank onto here? We'll make sure it runs good.
Yeah, we can. It sounded pretty good when
It did.
when it was running.
Although you could tell it was starting to lean out at the end, eh?
Yeah. So that was the only other thing I was thinking. If the filter was plugged solid,
Yeah.
it might airlock instead of.
Right. Well, let's just, I'm going to slow down for a minute here. Which one was the inlet? I think that's the inlet there, or?
There should be an arrow.
Oh my God, mine don't have an arrow because I don't spend enough money. We'd be in a tight
And if it hadn't had an arrow, I'd have been.
Well, we're probably going to stick a new one on anyway, right? Okay, let's just have some fun with the filter. If gravity will flow through there, then that's got to be all right. Right? You with me on that?
I'm definitely with you on that.
Okay. Oh, the fuel pump ain't pumping. So I think you had 2 problems. I think your fuel pump went, and then you took apart the carburetor and lost that spring.
Well, it must have been still
Well, that's what we're going to find out.
working
right
to
now.
an extent, because I could get
Right.
it started and do the, like I said, the choke and puke thing, but
Larry, could you move that cup of gas just off there and put it somewhere with this so that we're not
That
gonna
it
get
won't spill?
Nothing too exciting going on. Okay,
nearly
This is
so
a runner.
concerned about it spilling is catching on fire.
exactly. But it happens one before the other. So I'm sure you need the fuel pump when you're under load. So, you know, with no load, it runs great, eh? So I did 2 things I see I missed.
No, if this one's sucking, then it's sucking out of the
No, it should suck
carburetor.
from the tank. It should suck from the tank, right? To the carburetor.
So this one should go here.
Is there a possibility that they're on the wrong one?
It could be,
Okay.
but
So,
I'm not sure.
so you want that one to the, you want that one,
But this one,
if that one's sucking, you want it to suck from the tank.
you want to suck from the tank.
Well, that's
this
not what
one's
I was
gonna-
sucking,
This
right?
one's gonna suck.
Oh. So you want, where's the output of
So
the,
this one should
that's
be.
the output of that. I see. Did you filter it before it went through the pump? I think so.
Yep. So now it's gonna suck from the tank
And then,
and
it's
blow
gonna
it
blow.
to the carburetor.
Okay, guys, they're gone. I found one of these, and it's about the same as went into the one we stole from my hoard into his 12-horse carb. I just put one of these into the carburetor just so it would have one, and then I labeled it with a Sharpie that it has a different spring, but it has a spring. I got a hoard of springs here. So it was successful. I don't usually have guests in to help out, so that was fun. Thanks a lot.